What if psychic ability isn't something you're born with, but something you can develop through training? Tonight, we explore how meditation can open intuition, heighten awareness, and unlock abilities most people never realize they have. If you ever wondered whether psychic development is real or possible for you, this episode may change everything.
Welcome to ParaTruth.
How's it going, Paratruthers? Welcome to another episode of ParaTruth Reborn. This is a live show on 107.7 FM New Orleans, 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast, and United Public Radio Network. My name is Justin.
And I'm Eric.
And tonight we're going to be talking to Chanda Parkinson. We're waiting for her to get on. That was my blunder. So we'll give her a few minutes here, but we're going to be talking to her about her book, Meditation for Psychic Development. It's something that Eric and I have talked about extensively on the show before, but we thought what better way to do it than to invite her on. So let me get her in here. Chanda, I apologize so much.
That's okay. We're
It's
all
been
good.
a very long day.
No, we're great.
Welcome back to ParaTruth Reborn.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to having another chat. We had so much fun last time, so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of shenanigans we can get up to.
Well, one thing I didn't realize last time when we were talking is you're originally from North Dakota.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I live in Bismarck, North Dakota. So.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, why did we not make this connection before? That is so odd.
Yeah. You had said something on the previous show, and somebody pointed out, I'm like, I didn't even hear her say that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm originally from I was born in Crosby, North Dakota, and I'm originally from the Minot area. My folks and my brother still live there. So yeah, we get back to North Dakota every once in a while.
Okay, cool. And now you live in Minneapolis, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away from me. So
yeah, exactly. How are
all
you
right
doing?
We're good.
Good.
It's been kind of a transitioning to 2026. So what better way to do it than talk to you about the meditation for psychic development, because I feel a lot of people are going to start having awakenings soon. So
yeah, I think I agree with you. Totally. Yeah, Happy New Year to you both.
yeah, thank you. So what made you write the meditation for psychic development?
Yeah, this book has a really interesting story and lore, and what brought me into the material that's in the book is also just such a fascinating thing. Of course, this was my very, very first book project, so this was like, it was like about 15 years in the making, just in terms of like my path as a psychic and a reader, and also a mentor. And so I was doing a presentation at an event for Llewellyn Worldwide, which is a publishing company that I write for. And I did a meditation for a group of publishers and salespeople at a conference. And they were pretty astonished by the meditation. And unbeknownst to me, the actual owner of Llewellyn was at the presentation. And she came up to me afterwards and pulled me aside. I did not know who she was. I hadn't met her before. And she said, I thought that your presentation was super compelling and the meditation you did was really interesting. It was very powerful. Do you think you could write a book about, do you think you could write a book about meditations that would connect people to their own psychic abilities? And I said, well, actually, yeah, as a matter of fact, that's, something I could probably do in my sleep. It's something I've been doing for a long, long time myself and teaching and training other people to use as well. And we were off. And then the book Baby was born. Unfortunately, it released in 2021, which we weren't doing any kinds of book events still at that point. So it was like, is this gonna fly? But the book has done very, very well. So that was kind of the birth of the book. That's kind of how it came to be.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now, when people hear psychic abilities, what do they typically misunderstand about it?
Yeah, I think that I feel like fortunately we're kind of coming out of like a long history of stereotypes around the fortune tellers um, and psychic being like somebody who's going to be able to tell you your future and everything that happens to you the next 10 years or the rest of your life. And, and I think there's a misperception that psychics, psychics will see something potentially negative about you or your future and tell you about it and set up this really scary chain of events. And so I feel like I feel like we have pop culture and the media to kind of blame for some of that. The film industry hasn't always been um, our ally in terms of presenting what psychics really are. So, but also I feel like we are pulling out of some of that. But the misperceptions around psychics and psychic abilities and what that is, if people can really fully embrace, it's not somebody special or chosen, or those are some of the common myths, I think. You're not chosen or special. You have psychic abilities because you embody a soul, and the word psychic means of the soul. And so if there is a space within you that you can tap and connect to, that place inside of yourself, you're psychic. And it's possible for all of us. Anybody can tap into their own psychic abilities. None of us are the same. We don't all receive the same. So we're all different. Yeah. So I spend a lot of time talking about what psychic is and what it's not. Psychic and intuition get very confused for one another very often. And I break that down in the book, and I break that down in my mentoring programs with my clients as well. It's you know so yeah, so I have a couple of really cool exercises that help kind of break some of those things down, but that was a very long answer to a short question. As you remember, I don't answer questions very concisely. We keep going and going.
I mean, if anyone's at fault for that, it's definitely me on a weekly basis. I talk way too much sometimes, personally.
And on top of the pop culture aspect, the charlatans have given psychics and mediums a bad rap too. The ones that
That's fair.
claim they do.
Yes.
But so here's something that I wish somebody would have explained to me more when I got started with this. What's the biggest mistake beginners make when they're trying to start developing?
Yeah. Mistakes, because I was, I was one of them. I made my own mistakes in the
Oh,
beginning.
me too.
If you can remember your own story, it's like not not slowing down to do the groundwork. So to me, like, psychic abilities are built best when you have established a really good, strong foundational core that helps set the right conditions for your natural gifts to thrive and to grow. And so, for example, accidentally I discovered meditation was going to be a way for that to happen. um it was it was an accidental discovery that meditation could help me actually connect with my loved ones that were crossed over. I was trying to achieve an astral or out of body experience. I was really dedicated to it, and I spent tons and tons and tons of time in a dark room meditating. And I didn't achieve an out of body experience, but I had amazing connection points with what I still believe are my ancestors, spirit guides, and loved ones that came to me. So anyway, to answer your question, jumping forward and trying to extract or get information from spirit loved ones from the other side, or get psychic information without establishing the right conditions for that. And so the right conditions are when you're relaxed, your mind is open, you're able to shift your vibrational energy so that you can actually align yourself with the other than ordinary realm, the other than human realm can come forward. It's like you're the receiver, right? So like if you don't tune it to the right channel, you're not going to be as successful as if you actually slow down and get your tuning mechanism ready to receive something, and then it will be way more successful. And so jumping into things like advanced exercises or trying to connect with loved ones, people get really frustrated really quick, and it's what turns people off, or they automatically assume they can't do it. And it's like, you can do it, but learning about how it is that you actually receive and slowing yourself down enough to do those initial steps of the process will make it go so much more smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I mentioned last time, the only way I can meditate now is in a bath, doing a ritualistic
Oh,
bath.
yeah.
Like doing it sitting in a room, either silent or with like meditation music, I just can't. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I just can't shut my brain off enough, or what it
Mhm.
is. But
Oh my gosh. Well, like, okay, so meditation. Oh, I think we also have misperceptions about what meditation is. I mean, it can be something as simple as standing at the sink washing dishes, and I talk about that in this book. It is one of the most relaxing times of the day for me. In it's not my favorite activity, don't get me wrong, I don't love chores, but it's like if I'm standing at the sink and I'm looking through the window and I'm doing my hands are in the water, I'm a focused activity, I can be running through releasing the energy of my day. I can be releasing the energy of my mind. I can clear the space so that when I walk away from that experience, I'm really super clear headed and I'm grounded. And water just does that for me. It's like you're in the tub getting ready for, are you doing your meditations? For me, it's walking, it's sitting outside in nature, it's laying in my hammock under the sky. You don't have to have this huge expectation to sit for an entire hour of meditating before you actually can open up and start to receive things. So meditation is such a flexible tool. And so I like it when people can find a way to kind of sync the rhythms of their day with meditative activity, because it will naturally, on a regular basis, keep you open
okay.
to receiving. Yeah, all kinds of interesting insights. Yeah.
But there's like a number of different um, branches, I guess, to psychic ability, and I'm thinking like intuition or clairvoyance or even
Yeah.
empathy. Um, is there a particular type of meditation or way to train those specific branches of psychic
Yeah.
ability, or is that okay? I was gonna say, or is that just like whatever you happen to have? That's the
Oh
gift
my
that you have.
No, I love that. I love that because the book also kind of breaks that down in terms of the clairs. So you guys are probably familiar with clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience. And so if you know what clair you are, you can gear your meditations around that. And so there's a really simple, basic way to really kind of reflect on what are the clairs like might be your strengths. And so like for everybody like watching or listening or watching the replay, if you are somebody who considers yourself a super visual person, or you're a visual learner, or you find yourself, like you can close your eyes and you can see pictures and images, or you're a dreamer, you have vivid dreams, you might be clairvoyance, and that's clear seeing. So if you're somebody who's a clear seeing, a visual person, the meditations that include visualizations where you can go on a journey, you can go into nature, you can meet up with a guide or a loved one. I would take somebody who's clairvoyant on a journey meditation that's very visual, because it's going to be something that is going to naturally help them open up. Versus if you're empathic or you consider yourself an empath, that would be somebody who's clairsentient or clear feeling. If you're a clear feelings person, we're handling that kind of meditation completely differently. You might benefit from doing a sound bath meditation or something that kind of helps relax your body and helps relax your senses. A heart opening meditation, listening to really soothing music, or just closing your eyes and doing some breath work can be a way for 5-10 minutes to open your heart, to calm your system down. When you're an empath, and I know a lot of folks can kind of classify themselves as an empath, but somebody who's really super sensitive can pick up a lot of energy in their environment very, very easily. Having a meditation that also helps you protect your energy field, clear your energy field, it's very important that you kind of get orientated with how it is that you feel like, and you might be multiple things as well. If you're somebody who's a clear knowing person, like claircognizance is clear knowing. I feel like I just know things. I don't know how I know them, but I just know. I get these really strong impressions. They come into my gut. I know something's going to happen, and then something happens and it's like, whoa, that I knew that was going to happen. um, that is, there's a way to kind of set yourself up for that, to clear energy from that part of your body, or to pay attention to that part of your body when you are trying to psychically receive. Um, and then for the inner listeners, or those who get thought forms, if you're an ideas person where you just randomly get things popping into your head, like some people call it downloads, get downloads. All right, where did that come from? Suddenly I have this thoughts or words, or you even hear voices occasionally in your head. That's clairaudience or clear hearing. And so doing meditation exercises to help open your inner ear, massaging, your ears, your neck, your throat. Yeah, you can prepare yourself based on, how you receive, how you best receive. And sometimes it takes a little monkeying around with all the things to figure out which combo of those you are. And it's okay if you don't know at first, but that's kind of a good entry point, is to think about what kind of a person you are on a regular basis, and how you connect with your environment on a regular basis, how you're impacted by the world and your environment. And then you can kind of gear your meditation practice out of that. I don't claim that meditation is the only way to build psychic abilities or tap into that. I don't claim that at all, but I grew up in North Dakota. I lived in Fargo when I first was kind of coming into my psychic abilities. That's where I was. That's where I was. That's where it kind of woke up in me. I didn't have a vibrant community to tap into. I was alone a lot trying to figure it out. And for people who don't feel comfortable, know they're having experiences, but they don't necessarily want to walk into a group environment or a metaphysical shop or go take a class or pop online. This kind of book can be very valuable because it's something you can learn at home. It's something you can be self-directed around. But like we were talking about earlier, it's just really, really important, especially if you're brand new to something like psychic development, to lay the groundwork. Lay the groundwork well. You'll benefit from it greatly.
I think it also, like, from my experience and like talking to people, just surrounding yourself or being in an environment that you find comforting. For me, it's often the forest. I spend a
Yeah.
lot of time in the woods. For others, it's like the ocean on a beach, or even people like the chaotic nature of the inner city, the hustle and bustle of New York and stuff like that, where they're able to focus better, which I don't understand how you focus in that type of environment, but some people, um, so I find it like really interesting how and important, like, that if you're going to try to figure out what you are, you should probably journal about it. Look into your journals and continue to journal, figure out how you feel on a daily basis and what type of situations tend to make you feel to be more sensitive or less sensitive, or more connected. But then also figure out what locations you tend to feel best. Like Justin in the bathtub, that's best for him. For
Yeah.
me, I'm better off in the woods than I am in my living room with music playing. And I think that's something that people have to, I mean, don't have to, but probably should consider when they're trying to expand their mind and open with that psychic ability too.
Yeah. Tracking things is helpful because also you will grow and change. The way my psychic receiver worked 20 years ago isn't quite the same as how it works now. You change as you go on, and you want to be able to track things in the very beginning to reinforce what works and what doesn't work. And I think that's the practical side of it, is like, did this work? Like you said, the environment for meditating in, did this work? Or was it too cluttered? Or did the energy just not feel right? Do I need to check something else out? Or do I need a different exercise or tool to help me? And it is keeping track in the beginning is super duper helpful, but keeping track at any point, because you may first be such a vibrant seer, and down the road you may suddenly find yourself mostly receiving through your feelings and sensitivities and empathic capabilities. So it's it does help. I'm not the daily journaler, but I have notebooks all over my room with notes in it, like, oh my gosh, this happened, and oh my god, I better put that down somewhere. I wonder what that meant. And that's the thing, is that you also don't always know what everything means as it's happening. And so, how do you grow if you don't have the chance to reflect back and see what happened? Whether it's, a psychic tool is tarot cards, so keeping track of your tarot card readings, or pendulum work, or whatever kinds of tools you like to use, keep track, because it will absolutely help you grow and quickly solve problems around what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, that's so important.
Now, I've gotten to know the Claires pretty well. Um, I know for sure that I'm an empath. I know for sure that I, on occasion, will hear spirits or even what you call get downloads. And I tend to hear people's thoughts sometimes without even knowing it. But something that I didn't even think of when I first started opening myself up is um, risks. Are there risks in psychic development if done improperly or opening yourself up too fast?
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, the risks mainly come from, well, and you guys know this well because of your realm and expertise, which is the paranormal. You know, you have to be just in psychic abilities, just like in any kind of opening yourself up to extrasensory perception or non-ordinary reality. You are vulnerable if you don't also ground yourself or set up some type of protection. So I mean, yeah, you know, like I don't really qualify you not like setting it up 100% airtight properly as like dangerous. I don't think like that. But like we can't deny that, like, hey, if you don't want some like questionable, uncomfortable energy coming into your space, set it up well so that that doesn't. You just minimize disturbances, you minimize energies, entities, or spirits, or just energy into your space that you don't want to, because it all impacts, and especially people whose auras are super spongy like empaths. You know, you want to make sure that you set that up well. So any kind of grounding or protection, cleansing and clearing your space. I'm a huge fan of cleansing and clearing spaces before you practice your psychic abilities, or work on them, because sometimes you wind up picking up uh the energy that's hanging around in your room if you don't clear it out first, you know. And energy, whether it's a being or just cluttered emotional energy residue that can hang around in your home. And so clear the energy first, set yourself up well, ground yourself, put up some protection. Yeah. Um, I think I think that is a pitfall, not setting yourself up well. Or if you're a crystals person, heck, you know, get yourself some really good crystals that help clear, some selenite, keep the energy clear, and some clear quartz and rose quartz to help, and amethyst to help boost your psychic abilities. You know, there's lots of different roads in, you know, but yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, let's say you're a person who, maybe you have this thought happening, and you think something's going to happen. In fact, you're confident it's going to happen, but you're also somebody who struggles regularly with anxiety.
Yeah.
How does one determine what is actually a psychic ability and what is maybe just some mental health difficulties?
Yep. So I cover this as well in the book. It's the number one question my students ask me, is how do I know if I'm just making all of this up?
Hmm.
I do feel like it's really important to be incredibly honest with yourself, you know, from the get go, especially if you're someone that struggles with either depression or anxiety. Being really crystal clear with yourself what your capacity is for extending yourself psychically, you know. And I tend to feel that when psychic information comes to us, like let's say we are channeling a loved one crossed over, or we get insight for our lives on some level, if it's bringing us energy, like I mean the good kind, you know what it feels like when you get goosebumps on your body, or when you you get an idea and suddenly it prompts you into some type of action, and suddenly you're surging all this positive energy in your body. It's feedback. And so I tell people constantly, pay attention to the feedback that your body is giving you about the insights that you receive. If it's giving um, fear and constriction, and or it's setting you off or triggering something that doesn't feel good in your body, that's worth pausing around. I'm not saying that it's not accurate. It's just worth pausing around and going, hey, what is my frame of mind right now? You know, is this something that I should tuck away, maybe take a break, come back later? or draw some tarot cards to calm and center my mind. Like tools meet the moment that you're in. And so not every moment is going to be okay for you to like be, accepting what you've received. So paying attention to what your body is telling you about the information you're receiving about yourself, the future, someone else, something else around you, and then working to shut it down. I mean really like there's an on switch and there's an off switch. And if you do the setup process well for a period of time, you get to decide when it's on versus when it's off. So I'm not a huge fan of just like wandering around in the world wide open. And I mean, Justin, you would implode as an empath if you're wandering around just like, I'm wide open to whatever it is that comes to me. And I've worked with people that have said that to me, and it's like, no, because we're also humans and we have to do human things, and you cannot go through your life like this. Give me all the things. You will get burnt out. You will get, it could negatively impact your mental health. And so there is a time and a place for asserting your gifts, opening yourself up, practicing in a healthy and safe way, and safety, 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 safety. That lends so much for the longevity of this process. It's like what I want people to have and tap and get into and be able to utilize their gifts long term for the rest of their lives and not experience that and like energy burnout. So yeah, I totally forgot what we were talking about.
You answered the question. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, Eric, because that's something I struggle with daily. And you know this just from certain instances where we're doing investigations, when we were doing investigations, and prime example, we were at the bowling alley, and I was just saying what was coming to my mind. To me, I thought I was just freaking making it up. But then the guy, he worked there and he was being a part of the investigation, was like, yeah, that's what the other psychic said. So it was a good validation for me.
Cool.
But my biggest issue is I don't turn it on and off on purpose. It just comes on for no reason at all sometimes, and I'm sure it's probably just me not being more strict or trained enough to make sure I'm not doing that by accident. But something that I really struggle with is the meditation part, and something that a lot of people do meditation for is not psychic development, just relaxation.
Yes.
So how can people start using it for psychic development over just like a relaxation? How do they integrate that into their everyday life and meditations?
Yeah, so there's two parts to this. And the first part is finding some kind of calming, quieting activity. Call it a meditation or don't call it a meditation, but something that relaxes your nervous system and brings you into a smooth space. So one could argue, meditation or ritual bath, or do you know what I mean? Like there's a million, somebody goes for a run. I have clients that run, and then they're releasing the serotonin and the dopamine in their bodies that bring them into a really harmonious state. That's a really good place to receive. So that's step one. Step one is like meditation to bring you in that space. But then there's the type of meditation that, depending on what kind of receiver you are. Again, if you're a visual person or you're a clairaudient person, doing like a higher self meditation where you can actually direct the process step by step to then know that by the end the intention is that by the end you will actually have either solved a problem or brought in some information or received a message, or a candle divination meditation is great for also for clairvoyance and clairsentience, because you can sit with a candle burning and you can invite and pray and bring in your ancestors or loved ones for communication, and you can see the flame flickering and it can hold your focus without you having to close your eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to sit in a breathing space with your eyes closed, like we see, we see represented. That isn't the only form of meditation. Breath work is a type of meditation that can bring you into a euphoric state where suddenly you can start to interact and engage with the other than ordinary realm, and or receive messages. So breath work, alternate nostril breathing, these are some examples of active meditation. Yogic breathing, I mean, it's a fire breathing kind of, it's a fire breath, but it's a way to link your left and your right hemispheres of your brain. So there's some technical things to it. Do you know what I mean? That, like, once you learn about how you best receive, you can yeah, like I keep saying it, you can kind of then construct like the best possible type of meditation for you. So, like, clairvoyance, people who see, I'm like, do the journey, do the shaman journey meditations, do a meditation where you are on yeah, you're going somewhere, and you have a destination, and the destination might be that I am going to end up at a party talking to all of my loved ones that are crossed over. That's the destination. That's what happens at the end. Um, and then I'm going to bring myself back. Also, psychic journeys to connect with your past lives, so like psychic regression into past life territory. That is all a psychic experience that you can very safely take yourself through. So again, there's a gazillion options for, yeah. And if we have time and it feels appropriate, I could always lead people through a meditation. I'll let you guys decide if that's something that you want to do. But yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, I would love for you to do that because it's something that I think a lot of people struggle with as far as getting into meditation in general. But I have a very important question, and
Yeah,
maybe you don't have the answer for this,
that's
but
okay.
say somebody decides they want to open themselves to psychic development. They
Mm-hmm.
start doing it, they start doing meditations for it, and they start to realize, wow, this is way more than I realized. Is there like a meditation or a way for them to close themselves back off, or is it
Yes.
you're done as soon as you open yourself up?
Oh my gosh, that's great. Like, oh, it's good to like talk about, like, even just remembering how many times I found myself in really strange situations where too much or odd information was starting to come in, or suddenly I was having weird experiences and it was alarming. um, Oh, heck yeah. So, the best thing you can do in those kinds of situations, when you're experiencing something and you're like, no, thank you. This is not for me. I don't know what's happening. I don't have enough knowledge to know where I'm going with this. Yes, I would take that as a cue, based on what your body and the feedback, again, that your body is telling you that we've gone too far. And all you need to do is just breathe and just pull all of your energy back into your body and ground. And so, a great grounding exercise is just breathing and imagining that you have like a, a root growing out of your tailbone that extends down into the earth. So your body is now like a tree, and you're going down into the earth, and you can breathe and you can connect that grounding cord. Breathe and settle your body back in your body. Pull all of your energy back into yourself, and then just practice cutting off any energy that is not welcome. You can visualize cutting a cord of energy, cutting the energy, or it just dispersing into bright lights that scatter. But bringing yourself into your body and grounding your energy will almost instantly stop whatever is going on. And you saying to it, whatever it is, energy that isn't welcome, take some breaths. You're in charge, reminding yourself that you can come back and disconnect any kind of cords of energy from that experience or that being. Yeah, so it's never good if you find yourself in a situation that feels compromised, startling, upsetting. That's not a good place to be, even if it's exciting. That you're like receiving something. If you're uncomfortable, it's not going to go anywhere. You can always find yourself in those spaces again if it's important to go back there. But anything alarming, uncomfortable that feels like a red flag, you can come back into your body, ground your energy, breathe, disconnect any cords of energy. One of my favorite things is just like an invisible scissors of light. A scissors of light, just kind of cutting the cords of energy from whatever is around me.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget the tools like incense or smoke clearing herbs or crystals and stones, like those things can also really help disperse energy where you are. Yeah.
And I think Justin could attest how often I do the cord cutting in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. Like it's more visualization, where others might use a quartz knife that they might pick up at a store
Sure.
or a natural pair of scissors.
Yeah.
But that's definitely been one of the things that always helped me kind of let go of certain things or situations or just anxious thoughts. So I'm definitely a fan of that for sure. Or even using fire, imagining it burning up and disintegrating and dispersing.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, I like using the elements like that.
Mhm.
That can be incredibly effective.
And now, before we have you kind of walk us through a meditation here, I do want to ask, in your opinion, what are perhaps some ethical responsibilities that come with developing psychic abilities?
Um, like any sort of spiritual process, it is an incredibly sacred experience that you're entering. It's a sacred experience, it's a sacred space or a sacred container. And so yes, 100% it should be handled responsibly. And so, like, as just an example, it's really basic, simple kinds of ethical things like, you know, you might see a friend of yours, like a loved one that is connected to them as you're starting to develop your abilities, but it isn't okay to give an unsolicited reading to somebody without their permission. Do you know?
Mhm.
Like I have really, really strong feelings about that. It is, especially when somebody's not ready, to receive that kind of information. So if you receive information for other people, that's part of the process and things will come unexpectedly, but it's never okay to just walk up to somebody and say, dude, I see somebody standing here next to you, and tell them about their deceased loved one, that's riding next to them on the city bus. That is
Wait,
just
you
not.
mean those psychic shows isn't right about that? Like the psychics walking up to people on the street and be like, "Yeah, your mom's here. She's totally fine."
Don't even get me started. Oh, don't even get me started on shows like that. Oh man, there's one show that I liked, and it's no longer on the air, but it was the John Edwards show. I loved that show. He was so good. He was a medium. I don't know if you guys even remember that.
I
There-
do, but I also knew that there was a little bit of controversy around him too
yeah,
because he would do the cold readings.
yes, yes, and it was like the whole situation was better set up. But any of the psychics or mediums that have had shows, I'm sorry, we're totally on a tangent now, but that have, walk out into the street with the camera crew, and I know a lot of it is set up and staged. I get it. I know that. My husband worked in reality TV for a number of years, so I can guarantee a lot of it is set up. But it just drives me absolutely insane, because then people start to think that that's how it's supposed to be, and that's
Right.
how it's supposed to work, and it's like,
Right.
that's not. It's just so anyway. Ethics,
Right.
ethics of this work.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
Eric.
it's the same way with like the paranormal reality shows, the ghost hunters and stuff. Where some of
Yeah.
these guys walk in and they immediately just start blasting spirits and calling them out and getting very almost verbally violent. And it's like people think that that's what you do. You walk in and you start stuff, and then all of a sudden there's a
I
problem.
mean, you and I did it. You and I did it
Yeah,
because
I
we
mean,
saw
yeah.
it.
We're the same. Yeah, we've been there, done that, and it doesn't work out so well.
I mean, how many times did I like call it out, like the wraith at the lake, and I was feeling like something was grabbing my chest or my heart.
Justin, almost every time he almost had instant regret. Every
Yeah,
time he called something out,
Jeffrey
instant-
Dahmer's house. I'm like, well, if you're here, touch us, and I get like a brush on the back of my neck, like somebody's like lovingly caressing me, and I'm like, nope, yeah, he's here. I'm gonna go outside. You guys go ahead. I'll be outside.
I'll be outside.
Yeah. And I everybody I've told that story to, I was like, yeah, I was the cocky kid who thought, provoking was okay, and Eric was too for a time too. But yeah, like if you're a paranormal investigator, please don't. People have to work there, live there. It's not okay.
I am fascinated with paranormal stuff. I know that's not what we're talking about, but
All
but I,
right.
but I am. It is near and dear to my heart, because I've had also my own share of paranormal experiences, and I just am fascinated by it. I think it's magnificent that we can have that kind of real connection with other realms. But yeah, the respect that you bring any kind of work where you're connecting in this realm, still a relationship. And so it's all relationships. We have a relationship to our own spirit, we have a relationship to other spirits, we have a responsibility to hold those relationships, and the people who are living here who you don't, give unsolicited messages to.
Right.
Handle relationships with care, and you'll be fine. If you just do it, if you just keep that in mind, it's all good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We are at that point where I would love for you to do a guided meditation before we have to let you go.
Great. Okay. So this one is in the book, and it is the clairvoyant meditation. So I'm going to do an abbreviated version of it. But I just thought this would be kind of a good way to sort of dip your toe in and see if clairvoyance is your jam. And how much time do we have left?
We got about 12 minutes.
Okay, perfect. This should do it. Okay, so now I want you to just allow your breath to ground you. So just start by either opened eyes or closed eyes. Doesn't matter, either is fine. Just take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And just relax your body. With each breath, just feel yourself coming deeper into your body, into the chair that you're sitting in. And as you're breathing, I want you to just start to focus all of your attention on your third eye, which is right between your eyebrows in the middle of your forehead. This is an interviewing screen where your gift of clairvoyance is realized. Keep breathing. Take the time you need to feel a deeply relaxed pace of breathing with each breath. And as you breathe and focus on your third eye, just begin to notice any sensations as it begins to shift, any tingling, any pressure, any numbness, or pulsing energy. Breathe in and breathe out. And now, with your eyes closed, I'd like you to place your focus on your third eye. And I want you to actually hold the vision of the number 1 in your inner vision. Just see the number 1. Hold your attention there until you see the number with your mind's eye. Then replace it with the number 2. And then the number 3. And so on, until you reach the number 12. If you find yourself struggling, just take some nice deep breaths and try to relax into your body. Release any tension. You're doing great. Now I want you to use your inner vision to go into your own personal sanctuary in nature. This is the place where you go to escape the physical world around you. See yourself in your mind's eye walking around your nature sanctuary. Look down at the ground and notice what's under your feet. Allow yourself to take a full minute just to orientate yourself to where you are standing before moving on. With each relaxed breath you take now, feel yourself easing into the natural surroundings you're in. Notice an inner eagerness to explore growing within you. Breathe and relax even more peacefully into this place. Feel the good intentions of this beautiful landscape, assisting you with your own inner journey of opening your psychic gifts. Allow your inner vision to magnify the colors of your surroundings. The blues are brilliant and deep. The rich hues of green and the vegetation around you are startling. You see every outline and detail with more and more clarity the longer you are in this place. Walk around and just look at your surroundings. As you're walking, an object catches your attention, and out of curiosity, you move towards it. Examine the specks of color, notice the shape and the size, anything about this object that makes it unique. Now you are drawn deeper into your sanctuary where you happen upon a flower bud. It is a brilliant indigo color, and as you gaze upon it, it begins to glow. This flower is a symbol for the blossoming of your own inner vision. You can take several beats now to be with this unopened bud of this flower. Suddenly, the petals gently and slowly begin to open, and as they do, you feel your own inner vision opening. In an instant, you suddenly feel yourself being lifted off the ground as if you're standing, as if the floor you're standing on raises you up above your surroundings. Suddenly, you find yourself lifted into the clouds where you're swept away and carried through the sky. As you gaze down, you're able to crystallize more of your surroundings in your mind's eye. Without a moment's pause, you are surrounded by a rainbow. You reach your hands out to the colors, and they seem to connect with your hands and your body one at a time, washing over you like a cleansing rainbow of healing light. Red, orange, green, yellow, blue, and purple all surge in a beautiful stream through your hands, up through your arms and body. You feel renewed and restored. The cloud slowly lowers you down to the ground now. You find yourself at the mouth of a cave. For your convenience, a lantern has been provided so you may walk in and explore. Feel yourself becoming eager to see what is waiting for you inside. As you walk along, you slow down and glance at the walls of the cave. Impressions and indentations carved there suddenly become symbols, pictures, and images that form swiftly before you. Some may tell a story, others may seem random with no apparent connection. Now that you've had this journey, you walk with greater sense of confidence, coming back through the cave to your sanctuary in nature, bringing with you wisdom and insights to help you on your path. Send out your gratitude to this place as you walk along the path now, feeling yourself slowly coming back into your body, having learned what it is you needed for this moment in time. Take a few nice deep breaths. Through any kind of grounding cords that you have connected to the earth, release whatever you no longer wish to keep from your journey. And then you can open your eyes and you can prepare to write in your journal or share your experiences with others.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's an example. I went a little fast, but
That's all right.
for the sake of time. But you can record the meditations yourself on a device, from the book. Each chapter has its own meditation. You can record them and listen to them. Some people just read them and then they just listen to music and take themselves through the visualization. Do a visualization and stop and read a paragraph and go back in. It's kind of tricky to go back and forth between the book and the, in what you're doing, but if you set yourself up well, and you can skip around in some of the, you know what I mean? Like the first few chapters, stick with the first few chapters, just like as a foundation to get kind of the steps in place. But then, there's stuff for connecting with loved ones, like I said, past lives, cleansing your aura and chakra system. Talking to spiritual guides. So you can bounce around and pick the ones that you want to work with.
Awesome. All right. Well, it is about that time where we got to let you go. So I want to give you the chance to tell everybody where they can find you, find your work. The mic's all yours.
Thank you. Yeah, my website, I encourage people to sign up for my newsletter. So chandaparkinson.com, CHANDA, Parkinson, PARKINSON.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I have a YouTube channel. So yeah, those are all good places to check out my work.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to put you in limbo so we can close out the show. So hold on for us, and we'll be right back with you. All right. Any final thoughts on either psychic development or meditation?
No, sir.
All right. I hope you guys check out Chanda's book. It's definitely one to get into, especially if you want to start your psychic journey. It's one that I would recommend to anybody, not just because she's a great person, but just because it's a great development tool. Make sure that you're getting into the ParaTruthers community group. It's a great way for us to interact with you. Like our social media is everywhere. But if you get into the group, we can at least do a better chance of interacting with you, just because it's the post can get buried in our regular social media. So check that out. We do have a poll up there right now, what you want us to do a show on next, because it is one of those things that we are authorizing, allowing people to do if you're a part of the ParaTruth community group, not just a paratruther through our regular social medias. So check that out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, no matter where you listen. I don't always say that, but I feel that I should right now. But until next week, where you'll find us same time, same channel. My name is Justin.
And I'm Eric. Peace.